Hello everyone, welcome again to the channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about this episode in the series of Gnostic Psychology. And the topic of today is women attracted to men. So let's get started. This is according to the Gnosis. According to the Gnosis, there are mainly three kinds of women. That's what we can call the courtesan women, the normal women, and superior women. So let's see what each of these kinds of women represent. First one is what we can call the courtesan women. Unfortunately, in our current situation in the world, this makes probably most of the women, especially as the propaganda, social media attempts to portray this kind of behavior of something desirable, tries to sell the idea to young women that this is how they should behave. But let's see what is the summary of this. Of course, this is like an extreme behavior, but there are different degrees to which a woman can behave in this way. So you will probably not see most of them in a single person. Rarely you will see all of these traits in a single person, but even a few of these traits are enough to render this woman with very low value for a real man, for a man that wants to work on its own, who wants to work on his own spirituality, who wants to become a superior man. This woman has very low value and is definitively sometimes not worth the effort, because as you have seen in previous episodes, I have tried to be as honest and real as possible. It is possible to change, but the work needs to be done. Change doesn't happen automatically. Evolution will not change who you are. Evolution will not change anything about your personality. You can change your behavior, but your nature won't change unless you decide to work on yourself. So from that point of view, changing is possible, but it's rather, I think, more convenient to start work with good material rather than with inferior materials. And in this case, a woman is part of our life, so we want to find the right kind of woman for our life so that we can have a good life. And even in the most basic sense, material sense, it's good to have a good woman beside you and not a woman that will be dragging you down. So the courtesan woman is a woman who behaves in an openly sexual way, usually with a very strong feminist mentality. There is a strong sense of entitlement. They feel like they deserve everything, and they feel this kind of they are in this kind of position where they can demand everything and anything because they deserve it. Yes, because they're women, while at the same time they refuse to play their role in society, their role in a relationship, and it is overall part of the hookup culture. This kind of woman who feels like everything is on her favor and she can do as she wants. She can go around having sex with anyone and everyone just to please her own ego. Is a woman that is usually unwilling to commit to a serious relationship, has a lot of masculine traits. And this kind of woman, it is, according to psychology, they despise men. They actually hate men, and that's why they are, so strong in the feminist mentality. A lot of these women have even tendencies to be lesbian or bisexual. because they feel this kind of tendency to be very masculine. And also they hate other women, especially feminine women. Feminine women are the worst. They represent whatever they are not, and they want to destroy them. There's extreme cases like this woman has usually is a single mother and has children from different men. I have seen cases on online media. You can see cases like this with women with as many as 4 children, each of them with a different father. And these women have no intentions of ever settling down, and they just live from the money from all the parents or the father that engender these children. She usually displays her body prominently on social media, has no loyal women friends, actually has very much difficulty to relate to other women, is usually the kind of woman that can have only male friends, but you can also see that she uses her sexuality to manipulate men. It's the kind of woman that puts men in the friend zone and then takes advantage of them for whatever purposes she wants. Is a kind of woman who has, the OnlyFans accounts that sells her body, her image to serve her own interest, her own ego. And she has a strongly materialistic views about life. And like I said, don't make the mistake to think that if it is a woman that doesn't have all of these traits, then of course she doesn't fall into this category. But actually, this is very easy to go into this category if you just have a woman that has no loyal women friends, that has difficulty relating to other women and feels more comfortable talking to men. Usually this kind of woman has a lot of these traits and they are just hidden or waiting to be developed. So it is like a clue of how things are going to be in time if she continues to be attracted to this kind of propaganda, this kind of image. Is the kind of woman that will have very sexy photos in her social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. She likes the attention, especially the male attention, and she will post all kinds of photos and she feels proud of her body, which is not really wrong on itself. It's just the extreme behavior that you will see that this girl has very low self-esteem. This is why she behaves in this way. She thinks of herself as low value and behaves accordingly until the reality actually matches what is inside of her. This woman has very low value in the social stratus, and it is also a woman that it is not very useful for a man, because will usually break his life, break his heart, and leave him broke without money. So it's certainly a kind of woman that you want to avoid. And like I said, try to be as objective as possible and try to see the signs and recognize this kind of woman and try to avoid getting into a relationship with a woman like this before you actually commit your feelings. And the women who are behaving like this, they need to understand that even though they will be probably very popular among men who hang out or hook up with this kind of women have no real intentions usually, and they just want to use them and be used by them at the same time. So these are kind of women that will have attractive, also very low value men. They will rarely attract a suitable partner, and if they do so, they will destroy them because they are not able to commit to do something really serious about improving themselves. It's not completely hopeless, I want to say, but like my advice is to avoid this kind of woman. You should better find a more suitable person that at least won't be so negative, having so many negative traits. Second is the normal women. Unfortunately, this kind of woman is not the most common in our days. This, of course, depends on each society. This kind of woman, you will find it more easily in countries which are not so westernized, countries that respect more traditional values, probably countries in the Middle East, Muslim countries usually have this kind of women among them. Asian women sometimes have this good, honorable behavior. And also in Eastern Europe and parts of Russia, parts of the countries which were a part of the Soviet Union. In African countries, you see also this kind of behavior, not everywhere, but it is possible to find, especially mostly in small cities, people who have been raised correctly with good values. Also, Latin America is still possible to find this kind of women, but it's becoming smaller and smaller, the number of these women, and this is due mainly to social media and mainstream media. The propaganda is huge, and they make the case that being a woman like this is totally not a good choice. So most women fall for the trap and avoid actually having a good opportunity to be a high value woman. So this is the woman that you should find for a wife. This is a woman that you should find for a partner, for a life partner. And this woman can be defined as a woman with traditional values. They respect men and their role in society. They have a healthy self-esteem, self-respect. They usually have a good relationship with their parents, with their father especially. Is very important for men to pay attention to this. The woman that you choose to be your partner, it is very important that she has a good relationship with her father. And if that is not the case, you should be aware that there is a high risk there. Sometimes it's not their fault that the relationship with her father is not good, but if that is the case, then the woman should make up for it, work on her own and fix her own psychology, fix her own problems, because usually this kind of bad relationship with the father will result in bad relationships with every man, significant relationships. Also, this is the kind of woman who can actually have good female friends, and this is a very good green flag. If you have a woman that has good, loyal female friends, this is of the utmost importance. You should always strive and pay attention to this. This should be a woman that doesn't have a lot of male friends, very few of them, and actually in most of the time hangs out with her female friends, which is more respectable and actually produces more good results in life. She knows what is the place of men in society, but chooses not to take too many friends into her social circle. You need to pay attention to a woman who has spiritual beliefs and has an honorable social behavior, a woman that actually cares about her reputation, dresses in a normal, modest way, and doesn't display her body on social media to get validation from men. So it is a woman that will have, of course, ideally will be preferable if she didn't have social media, but in this day and age, she's probably very unlikely. However, if she has social media, she will have, normal posts, normal photos, not displaying her body in how to say, in a very inappropriate way to get excessive attention from men, and actually will not get the wrong attention from men, because she usually posts normal photos that will be, let's see, family friendly, PG-13 if you want to call them. So that's the kind of woman that you should strive to have as a partner, life partner, someone that can actually construct a life with you and can actually support you and help you succeed in life. It's a woman who understands her sexuality and behaves in a responsible way accordingly. In this day and age, I want to say, unfortunately, even normal women have sex with different partners, but it's usually in this kind of woman that you will find someone who didn't have many sex partners and will behave in a more appropriate way and try to respect herself and her partner, and will not have an excessive amount of partners, both sexual and otherwise. So this is what we should all strive to find for our life as men. And finally, we find the superior women. This is a woman who will do her inner work, do the 3 factors of consciousness revolution. As we mentioned in previous episodes, will be willful death, the ego death, soul creation, consciousness awakening. She will know about the second birth, the sexual alchemy, spirit creation, the sacrifice for mankind, how to lead others to their own realization, to the teachings, Gnostic teachings. And this is a woman who is ready to support her man to become a king, a priest, and a god. And this woman, when gets married to a man, will help him become the best he can be. And she will in turn become the queen, the priestess, the goddess, the mother, the lover, the wife. This woman rarely is existing in our world, but this woman can be fabricated the same as the superior man can be fabricated. So we should not probably strive to find this kind of woman in our world. It's very scarce, as yes, as scarce as superior men are in this world. So don't feel disappointed if you don't find a woman like this. I think you can fabricate this woman together with her. And this is what we want to be. We want to be superior men. We want to have a superior woman with us, so we can overcome all the limitations that we currently find in every relationship. As everyone knows, it is becoming increasingly difficult to have even normal relationships in our world. So just be aware of that. This is the final goal. This is what we want to have in our life, ideally. So that's why I advise people to avoid courtesan women and try to find at least a superior woman or a normal woman that you can work together and find, let's say, the self-realization together, you know. And this is some kind of summary. I felt necessary to mention all these things because right now, especially among the youth, men don't know what they should strive for. They are sold a false image of what they should try to find in a woman, and women are actually also sold a false image of what they should have. So this is kind of a summary of some of the things that I also find logical. What men dislike in women, this should be obvious, but for a lot of women has become increasingly some kind of mystery, I would say. So tattoos and piercings are completely, how to say, a turn off for, especially for very masculine men. They are not interested in a woman who has a lot of tattoos, a lot of piercings. The larger the tattoo, the worse is, for the value of the woman in the eyes of men. Men actually want a woman who has no tattoos at all because it is very unattractive, especially huge tattoos anywhere in the body. I have seen women that have these extremely big tattoos that are maybe artistically they are okay, but they don't belong in the human body, in my opinion, because they don't really enhance the beauty. They usually also, how to say, decrease the value of women, social value, sexual value. The image of woman is tarnished. Especially bad are these tattoos on the chest or the breast, tattoos on the rib cage, and it's been proven psychologically that women with tattoos are prone to promiscuity, sexual promiscuity. They are somehow inclined to have pain in their life, and this is proven psychologically. Some people will deny it. They say it hasn't been conclusively proven, but there is enough evidence to show that women with tattoos or piercing have a very low self-esteem, and it is some kind of self-deprecating behavior. So I will say what is my opinion, and I think my opinion is shared by many men, probably not by everyone. So that's what I think every man should try to find in his woman. Women with short hair, they also have low value in the eyes of men, and this is both a social, how to say, heritage, and it is also even biological. So short hair is a symbol of how to say, negative sexual behavior. In the past, when a woman was unfaithful, she was having, how to say, sex out of her marriage or sex out of wedlock, as it is called. They were cutting her hair as some kind of way to shame her for her behavior, and usually prostitutes also wear short hair. Now they try to make it cool and see as it is nice to have short hair. They say it's comfortable, whatever. This is what is the symbol, and the symbol has a meaning. So short hair is completely unacceptable and is a symbol of low value for a woman. So if a woman has short hair, she can always grow it back because it's definitively something that is not very attractive for men. Unhealthy body, this should go without saying, but it seems like right now there is a lot of how to say, propaganda that it's okay to be overweight, and it's okay to have fake boobs, oversized puffy lips, these huge lips that ladies like so much. So let me be clear, men don't like this. For some reason, women like these huge lips, but only women like them. Men don't like them at all. Overweight women are definitively not attractive to most men. If a few men are attracted to an overweight woman, it is definitively some kind of abnormal behavior. I'm not saying it is something completely negative, but it's definitively abnormal. If you remember, their definition of abnormal is something that goes out of the norm. So that means very few people are actually interested in overweight women. So anything that is detrimental to the health of the body of the women, usually men see it as unattractive. So just to make things clear, wrong social status or image, it is also very unattractive. And I want to mention this, for example, that has to do a lot of the reputation of a woman is very important. Nowadays, if you have, let's say, if you're a woman and you have the wrong reputation in your country, in your city, or wherever you're living, and if you want to amend or change that, if you already had sex with too many men, if you already had too many relationships and want to change your life, want to become a better woman, change your life completely in a positive way, you can relocate. You can delete all accounts you had with all that old image and change your social circle, become a different person. And you, fortunately, in our world, you can do that. You can change, you can go to a different area, a different state, a different city, different country. You can create a new, more suitable social status so that your future partner will not be turned off by your past. I'm saying this in the most how to say positive way. Someone who wants to change their life, I think if they really want to do it, they can do it and they should do it. I'm not against people wanting to change. I don't want to condemn everyone for forever to be a victim of their own past mistakes. I think everyone has a chance to be redeemed. So that's an option that you can do if you really want to change your social status, your image. And I want to continue with the things that men dislike. Men dislike too much makeup. I think it is absolutely a no-no, and every man will tell you the same. Yes, women look better in photos with makeup, but makeup is really even uncomfortable for a couple. If your woman has a lot of makeup, you cannot even kiss her, you cannot even touch her face. It's completely artificial. That's what it is, you know. Very few makeup, just a little bit. Sometimes can be accepted by most men. But I have to say that in reality is something completely artificial, and most men prefer natural look in women. So that's the reality, and especially because right now the makeup is not only like powders and accessories, it's also Photoshop. Women put too much Photoshop on their photos, so when they are trying to meet someone, they're sending the wrong image. They try to make themselves look better than they are actually looking. And this is some kind of deception. And when men become aware of the deception, they become disappointed. So yes, be aware of that makeup is a big source of disappointment for men, and Photoshop is definitively a no-no. If you're a model and you're going to create photos for your work, that's fine, but for your own personal profile, I will definitively recommend using as little Photoshop as possible, especially if you are looking to attract a man into your life. This is definitely something you should avoid completely. Another thing that men dislike is when she has a lot of male friends, or mainly male friends, and she has no female friends at all. That is definitely something that men really dislike. The whole materialistic attitude of women is really such a huge turnoff for men. Men don't appreciate materialistic attitude. Men really dislike that. Women that have this attitude that, oh, you should pay for me, you should pay for my life, you should pay for my company. Uh, you need to earn my good behavior. You need to earn my best mood or anything. you need to buy my love, whatever they want to portray themselves as something that is up for sale. It's definitely something that men don't appreciate. When women have a disregard for men or for other women, this is something that men really, really, really dislike. They don't appreciate it at all. When she has had too much life experience or too much sex with other men is something that men also really don't like. And I want to say about too much life experience, an example that is nowadays very common, and women have the wrong impression. So I'm going to make a very, very clear example of how this works. I have seen many profiles of women that have very beautiful photos in many exotic locations around the world. Well, what most men think when they see a profile like this is this woman was a travel slut. That's what they call it. Travel slut is a woman that has no money, but she slept with so many men and they took her into very exotic locations. They paid for everything and she basically took advantage of them. You know, she was paying with sex, with her body, for all these life experiences. So if you want to have these experiences, keep them to yourself. Don't promote them in social media because most men are aware of this and they don't think it's cool. Actually, this decreases the value of women, but for some reason they believe is actually something to brag about. It's not. It's not, and decreases the value of women so much. So if you have done that in the past, keep the photos to yourself for your memories, whatever, but don't put them in your social media because most men are aware of what is the meaning of all that. Again, too many relationships, men don't appreciate that. If you have especially relationship with your ex-boyfriends, men also don't appreciate that. They are really not interested in a woman that has a lot of men in her life, whether they are ex-boyfriends or just friends, so-called friends. They are not interested in that. Feminism is completely a turn-off, big turn-off for men. If you want to find a good man as a woman, you should avoid that completely. It's actually counterproductive for your own self, for your own life. There's nothing positive about feminism. It's actually self-deprecating. So that's what it is. What men actually like in women. Men want innocent girls. That's the whole essence of it. Men want a woman who has very little experience in life. And there is no way to say this without any other words. Innocence is extremely attractive to men. So, and this is a completely feminine trait, and that is becoming scarce as the times go, and it is completely, underestimated. Women try to avoid looking innocent, and it is the opposite. They should look as innocent as possible. Virtue in women is appreciated, simplicity. We want a simple woman. We don't want anything complicated. Men are really so simple. We want a simple woman who is kind, innocent, virtuous. That's what men want. Most men are interested in these kind of things. Even those who, go around and having sex with the low value women, they will probably have sex with low value women, but for the wife, they want high value women. So high value women will always be attractive even to low value men. So let's pay attention to that. We want a woman who is supportive, who is respectful, who is appreciative. Appreciation is like one of the most, unknown virtues of a woman. When a woman can really appreciate, she can transform the behavior of her man in such a positive direction, because this is so rare. Women are rarely appreciated. They don't have, the ability to say thank you, to show their appreciation in such a very small way. Men goes a long, long way. So it is so simple. Just be respectful, be appreciative, supportive, and you can have the world basically as a woman. Spirituality, good values, this is also very much appreciated by every man. Intelligence, both emotional intelligence and mental intelligence. Nobody wants a stupid girl. I'm going to be completely honest. So if you are ignorant, that can be fixed. Read books, stop watching social media, find actually some good books and read them and become, knowledgeable about the world. Watch documentaries if you are too lazy to read, but a good woman who has knowledge about the world, is highly appreciated by men. Virginity in many areas of life. So this is not just virginity as a sexual trait. Of course, it's appreciated. It's so appreciated that in every society, virginity is appreciated. And unfortunately, now the social media and all the propaganda in all kinds of media tries to sell like a virginity, some kind of disease, and you need to get rid of it as early as possible. And women are having sex as early as 13 or sometimes even younger than this. So this is something very bad that needs to be taken care of. So men appreciate virginity. That means a woman who has very little experience in life, because let's say the goal of men is to take her out and show her the world, show him his world, so show her his world and go together and discover the world together. This is the dream of every man. They want to find a young, innocent girl who has no experience around the world, and he wants to show her the world. That's what men want. Youth, of course, is appreciated in men, and this is due to so many different reasons. It is not just biological, it's hormonal, it is biological, it's also social, but it is also psychological. Women who are young are more pleasant, they are less bitter, and this is just because they have had less bad experiences in life. So youth comes with fresh life, fresh impressions about the world, fresh opinions. So what's not to like about youth? This is actually one of the things that women want to, how to say, negate, deny that it exists, but it is the case that many women try to have the hookup culture while they're young, and then when the youth is extinguished, when they reach 30, 35, they want to become a normal girl, and sometimes they don't succeed because they are no longer young and men are no longer interested in them, especially if they have a very negative social image. Men are not interested in that. Health, we are very much interested in a healthy woman who is usually better to be a non-smoker, non-alcoholic, non-addict woman. So everything that is for this woman who takes care of her body, in a positive way, is very, very attractive to men. If she exercises, is fine. If she doesn't, but she still takes care of herself, is still considered very attractive to men. So it is basically, you can take all the opposite things from the things that men dislike and turn them into positive. We want a woman who has self-respect, who has a healthy self-esteem, who is very feminine. This is the reality. This is life. This is what women like. In deep down, this is what is natural. for women, but this artificial construct that women have embraced recently is very negative and very destructive. So that's all. I hope it's useful, and especially for young men and young women, before they continue destroying their lives, you can still rectify. And it doesn't mean that you need to be perfect. You just need to pay attention to the things that are really attractive, and just recognize reality that men will never change. The nature of men will never change. And this is natural for many reasons. I explained this in a previous episode when we were talking about the plants of nature, what nature wants. So this is actually, yes, very basic. Yes, very basic. If you want to go beyond basic, you need to go with a superior man, superior woman, and start working on yourself and doing the inner work. But even for the basic level of existence, this is completely necessary. So that's all I wanted to say for now. And finally, I want to say that you can find your dream girl. This is possible. There are still out there women who are worthy of your effort, worthy of your value as men. So develop yourself into a worthy man so you can attract to your life a worthy woman. That's all I wanted to say for now. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. And as always, I want to remind you about the opportunity to help me support my work as content creator. In the description of each episode, I include information about different platforms you can use to support my work with donations. If you want to, you can also share this episode in social media and subscribe. I hope to see you again very soon. Thank you for watching this episode.